Hello, welcome to another art video. This is my first portrait from imagination that I'm doing since I've started this quest of improving my portrait drawing skills. Everything about this I just came up with randomly. I didn't look at any reference. I mean, not that you shouldn't use reference when you're doing things from imagination. Honestly, you should use reference for every piece of art you ever do because we don't know everything perfectly. But this was a test. This was my test to see what I knew, and I wanted to apply what I've learned. That was the point of it. Obviously, I made some mistakes, which I do correct later on the face. I see them now that I'm watching it back, but I didn't see it at the time. And I got some help from a friend from Twitch that was watching at the time, and he did like a liquify redraw of it in Photoshop and sent it to me, and I was able to see some of the fixes and some of the things that I could do better, and I did make some changes to it at the end. This pose, actually, I came up with it randomly one morning. Like, I was trying to think, I knew that I was ready to do a picture from imagination, right? And I just didn't know what I wanted to do, what kind of pose, and like this pose just kind of came to me. I was like, I know it's nothing profound, but at the time I thought, this is perfect, I'll do this, you know, because I love to do pictures in profile, but I'm trying not to go to profile so much, and this was kind of a good compromise, you know. It's a 3/4 view of the face, almost in profile, but not quite. And because it was from imagination, I didn't have any, you know, colors working from, so I had to kind of come up with a color scheme, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of blocking in colors roughly. This isn't my final color blocking. I'm about to do that now with my normal method, where I use the selection tool in Paint Tool SI, select all the things I want to color and then color it that way. But I came up with the colors first, which is what I do for all of my other illustrations. I kind of just block in the colors roughly, and I'm able to get a feel of what the colors, how the colors work together from the start, you know, which is a good idea if you're ever doing an illustration. So I just kind of applied that technique to my portrait. I decided ahead of time that I wanted the mood to be kind of sultry, you know, the colors to be very brown and orange, and for them to kind of give a mood, you know. So I don't know if it worked, but I liked it in the end. I ended up going a little bit more saturated on the skin than I started off with, which tends to happen. I tend to default to this saturated light brown skin. I feel like it was okay, but it just still fell into my default mode. Like, see, I went really saturated with the shadows. I mean, it works, but it doesn't really, it kind of broke away from the original color scheme that I had, is the problem. So that's just something I gotta work on, you know, when I do things, you know, when you do things from your imagination, you're gonna be pulling on memories or things that you're used to. So it's no wonder that I fell into this direction. I kind of lost my original color scheme that I wanted, and I kind of went into default mode. You just kind of have to pay attention when you're drawing, you know. You got to watch out for yourself. You never know what you're gonna fall into, and you kind of have to watch out and fix the little not the mistakes, I guess, the little things that you practice over and over and over that become ingrained in your I guess your style. It can become your style anyways. And I feel like it's, I don't want to say like a skin tone is my style, but like the saturated look, I always do very saturated shadows. And I love the look of like pastel shadows, or not shadows, like pastel pieces in general, like the color scheme, a pastel color scheme. And I've never really successfully accomplished one, you know? And I really want to, because I love it. And I think like varying your color schemes and your style a little bit can be refreshing and fun if you do it right. Don't look too closely at those teeth. Oh my gosh, those teeth, I struggled. They looked so weird. Like, even when I finally did come back to them and adjust them, I still wasn't happy with it. I'm not sure if it had to do with the angle of the mouth, but like here I'm finally like coming back to it. I just wasn't happy with it. This is better. Like, what I ended up with is better, but I'm still not sure. Like, maybe there should have been a shadow on the top teeth from the upper lip, maybe a bigger shadow there. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. So one of the places that my friend that helped me out with this portrait pointed out that I did mistakenly was the right eye, or the currently right eye, I think it's actually the left eye, is showing too much of the inside corner of the eye. It should be more rotated. Like, you'll see when I do the final product how I change it, and looking at it now, it's so obvious, you know, like this angle doesn't make any sense, but I guess I kind of fell into the monkey house when I was doing it, and kind of lost track of those details, those problems. I didn't really see them until later on when he pointed it out. And the eyebrows were adjusted later too. Like, it looks fine. Like, when I'm rewatching it back, I think it looks okay, and then until I fix it, and then I'm like, oh, it definitely doesn't look okay. You know, there's so many things. Like, it really is just practice over and over and over again. You will start to pick up on your own mistakes, and you'll be able to fix it without someone else telling you, you know? I'm really happy how the shading of the arm came out, especially because I do have this default way of painting skin on the body, and I was able to break away from that a little bit and get some variation and not have like tube arms. The tube thing is kind of there a little bit, but it's definitely a marked improvement there. And here come the ears, at least my adjusting. I always forget how to draw ears, always. Like, no matter how many times I draw it, I have to look up a reference again. This time, I think I didn't look up a reference. I think I just kind of winged it. And it came out all right, I think. It lacks depth in a way, needs some adjusting, maybe some more contrast, but it's acceptable. And that's all that matters. And now we're doing the hair, and I had a little trouble like getting these highlights to work. Like, I have these really bright highlights in at first, and I started blending them in, and then I didn't like it. I ended up like scrapping, or at least dulling it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Because I didn't think it was working, you know, it just looked wrong. I don't know if I had persisted with the lighter highlights, maybe it would have worked. I could have gotten it to work, but maybe it was just like my entire environment for this picture. The highlights didn't work. My friend had suggested that the highlights in the hair needed to be brighter, and I think I do add some lighter highlights later on. You'll see. I do push it back a little lighter, but at this point I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep it pretty muted, and I kept it pretty dark. Because I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get it. As you can see, I'm kind of just, you know, pushing color around, you know. I'm still not an expert with the hair, you know. I'm getting better. I'm feeling more confident about it, but I still haven't solved the enigma of the hair. I think I did pretty well with the hair on this one, to be honest. Like, all in all, it came out pretty good. I liked that I strayed away from just having one straight, like, easily painted angle of the hair going all the way back, and kind of had some hanging over her shoulders there, and made it a little bit spicy. A second ago, there was like I made the drawing lighter and drew another circle and face over top. That's about when my friend came in and he was suggesting the angle of the eye was off. And I was trying to like figure it out, which I did kind of get it. Like, I wish I could point it out now, but Oh, here we go. We're fixing it. See, the corner of the eye moved in a little bit, and the eyebrow has been lengthened a bit. After I moved the eye, I ended up losing the direction of the gaze, so I had to go back and fix that. But it looks so much better already. Like, just that simple fix, my weird side eye has been corrected to the right angle, and it looks so much better. I love it now. I actually, you know, look at this picture and I'm like, yes, good. I'm happy. I'm so grateful to my friend for coming in and helping me with that, because I think I would have been unhappy with the finished product if I hadn't fixed that. But anyways, we are wrapping up. I'm adding the final touches as we speak, and it looks really good. I'm so happy with this. I'm over the moon happy because, you know, it's from imagination. It shows that I'm learning something from this process, and I couldn't be happier. Anyways, if you are interested in watching me draw in real time, feel free to check me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/IamNiki. The link will be in the description. There is no reference for this because it's from imagination. And I will definitely be doing more of these in the future. So come check me out on Twitch. I'd love to meet you. Hang out in our Discord. Follow me on Instagram. All this good stuff. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.